What's going on, ChavezzSlovakia? It's your boy Chavez here. I'm here with my wife. She's joined me because we were shooting vids before and I'm not letting her leave. Also, potentially, she'll be joining me for her has-been hotel tonight. Talk to them about that. Unpack these knives. I gotta go put my Kungfu shirt on.
Well, unpack the what?
Unpack the knives. You gotta.
Why are they sitting on your desk?
I'll be right back.
What is wrong with you? Hi, I'm my husband's wife, which is why I called him my husband. I don't. Why would you do that? This is a prop knife. Not fake knife. Not dangerous knife. I, couldn't hurt anybody with this if I tried. See? Look how not sharp it is.
I was gonna jump into the frame again, but you're holding a gigantic knife.
It's a very large knife.
That wouldn't hurt me.
Where did we even get this?
If you did hit me with it because it's not real. So anyways, we're here for more Ssethtzeentach, and my wife loves his videos, which is why she's here to watch them with me. She's packing the knives that we were taking to defend ourselves.
I've never seen this man's videos in my life.
But let's join me for more obscure video game content.
Also, I think you said his name wrong. It's Ssethtzeentach.
I don't know how to say his name. I've only seen like 80 videos.
Ooh, look at you shining.
Yeah, it's my Kung Fu shirt.
What makes it Kung Fu?
I just feel like if I ran a dojo, this is what I would wear every day. So that's kind of how it...
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you have that.
The Slovakian defense arts.
Yeah.
It's just aggressive motorboating and tickling. Join me.
Why are you like
Here
this?
we go. Are you...
Is this what I'm in for today?
Do 8 cents. Yes, sensei. Join me, guys. It'll be a good time. Or girls. Whatever. Everybody's invited. Good time. Are you ready?
I guess.
Badass titties. All right, here we go.
Domain expansion, Immaculate Crack Rock. Domain expansion, Homeless Fist. Hey, disciples. Seth here. Let me tell you about a game that's transfixed and captivated me for the past many days. The Matchless Kungfu is an immersive sim that shows what life would be like if every man, woman, and child was trained in the martial arts. That is to say, life would not last very long. This game takes place in the genre of wuxia. This is Chinese sword fantasy fiction, but a little more grounded than some I've covered in the past. The
Wait a minute, he's going hard over here.
Why was he doing that?
Bro, he's like, I work here part-time.
Right.
Like, this is not my full-time job.
Where did you develop this skill?
Bro, look at this dude on the left. Bro, what the hell? That's so cool.
Than some I've covered in the past. The game works like this. You play a world simulation where everyone has their own desires and motivation, which you expand by putting down plots of land. These are pre-made areas containing a challenge. If you finish an objective, you can place more land, and you keep going until, inevitably, a Shaolin master breaks your spine. You're not expected to win from the first or second try. The actions you took in a past life will influence the next through karma, and you're not expected to understand any of this.
Dude, he loves these kind of games where like you literally play blind for the first couple of playthroughs and you just have to brute force your way through to find an objective.
My nightmare game. I give me a clear path, a clear objective, and I will follow it.
If you want to see my wife stricken with anxiety, paralyzing terror, tell her her actions will affect the next game in her next life. She will never die. She will also never progress. The game hours will tick forward infinitely, while she will not lose nor win forever. The pacifist here. You will live forever as a fish, but I will live.
Because I need to know what's going to happen, how is it going to affect. That's why I save before every conversation that I have with people, just to make sure. Because if it isn't going to get me the result that I want, I don't want it.
You know, that's why she succeeded at Dark Souls. Everybody's always so surprised when they hear the game suggestions she likes.
Yeah.
The Mario Galaxies and the Mass Effects and all that. They're like, so how did she play Dark Souls? Kill everything and you win.
Yeah.
There is a clear objective to the game.
Yeah. Murder.
Murder them.
Yeah.
Do you need to save? No, it saves for you. You can't die too many times.
Yeah.
Kill it all.
It's great.
Yeah.
Upsetting in a lot of instances.
Sure.
But great.
took in a past life will influence the next through karma, and you're not expected to understand any of this. That's why I don't have to explain to you why I began my journey drop-kicking roosters and fighting with a family dog.
my
Nor
God.
do I have to explain to you this incredibly elaborate
you
system
fight
of
horses?
rock, paper, scissors that is combat, because the tutorial went over my head, but I've retained the knowledge non-verbally. And finally, despite being, at the time of this review, a complete demigod with perfectly harmonized meridians,
Cool.
I can confidently tell you, I have no idea what's going on. For being the product of RNG, my first Chinaman turned out looking okay.
Your first
My very
what?
first quest was to beat the
He said Chinaman because he's a man from China in this game. He is not a man from China, but the game he is playing a Chinaman.
The product of RNG, my first Chinaman turned out looking okay. My very first quest was to beat the shit out of wine-stealing monkeys,
Damn.
only to find out animals can be tamed. Abilities vary between
Oh, that's
animals,
cool.
but for the monkey, this was begging. The monkey can beg for money, which infuriates the local beggar, as I'm taking away from his local business. In this game, beggar is a profession, and just like doctors operate clinics, beggars operate churches.
Huh.
I was driven away and had to beg downhill instead.
'cause you're a
Then I
monkey.
got a quest to deal with some bandits. No problem, I thought, until I saw they were two women who could kill just by breathing on me.
What?
Luckily, my objective wasn't to defeat them, just burn down their camp. This was very easy because they took several naps while I was doing so, only stopping when I burnt down their mattress. So they left and started harassing the locals. As it turns
What?
out, one of the bandits had the charitable perk, which meant that she would rob the local store, beat up the owner, and donate all her savings directly to my monkey.
the
I made
monkey.
a lot of money.
That's so good.
I feel like that's not how the developer expected that to work.
The developers watching this like, we gotta buff that or something. I don't know how we fix that.
From the bandit monkey pipeline, and I found the constant brawls to be very entertaining, until it wasn't, and the store owner was dead on the floor. I realized I had to do something, or I was going to
Robbing
lose
him.
a lot more NPCs. I lured the two bandits into a non-lethal sparring competition, broke their strength, quickly rested, and jumped them again before they could recover. This
Genius.
bumped up my reputation, and I was offered a selection of different schools of martial arts.
Oh.
Naturally,
Drunk
I
sect.
chose to join the Drunken
Thank you.
Sect. Not only did I get a bunch of skills that are simple enough that even I can reliably combo, I also got informed that I had a secret admirer. Who, may I ask? Well, the person telling me. And just like that, I had a significant other.
That's not-
She sleeps on the
that's
floor.
not
Sorry,
secret.
honey. The bed is reserved for me and the monkey. As we lay together and pick lice out of each other's hair, our bond strengthens. Following cultivation tropes, you can attend auctions to bid on rare and expensive items. Every time someone makes a bid for an item or increases their bid, the other guests become more jealous. If you let this play out in the background in its entirety, everyone who went to the auction is now seething with hatred
Damn.
and will try to kill every other attendee.
Damn.
In this game, you don't get stronger from fighting. You get stronger by connecting shapes in the right order to activate inner Kung Fu. In my case, however, I got alcohol immunity. I didn't understand the value of this until I sat down for a drink and saw a small option to make a toast. I could forcibly drink someone under the table, and when they're passed out, I could kidnap their body and rob them blind.
Have you ever even heard of a game with these kind of mechanics?
No.
All connected into
No.
one? This is how I feel every time I watch his vids. Who came up with this?
Where did he find this game?
Oh, I don't even want to know sometimes. This is one that he found on Steam, but other times I'm like, bro, he went into an archive for this.
Right.
Which is exactly what I did for the next
depths
hour,
of
until
Reddit.
everyone was running around in sub-zero temperatures in boxer shorts. Putting down enough normal plots lets you place special plots,
Okay.
such as towns. Soon as I entered, two men started bickering because one had slept with the other's wife.
Oh.
I intervened against infidelity, but a little too strongly, because he was now dead. I sat down at the bar to continue my drunken robbery when...
That reminds me of that video that I showed you where they were like, when did you know that the friendship was over? And the guy was like, when you fucked my girlfriend.
Have you seen that yet?
I haven't watched the full thing yet.
Dude,
we need
have to do that.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
Yeah.
That's
I've
gonna
been
be
saving
such a
it for
good
you.
video.
Every time I go to watch it by myself, I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
saving
we need
it
to
for
do
my
that.
husband.
We're doing that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming out soon. All right.
too strongly because he was now dead. I sat down at the bar to continue my drunken robbery when the same woman who committed adultery tried to seduce me, honoring my beloved. I rejected her advances, so she threatened to kill me if I said no.
I'm
and she
sorry?
did, because she's got 12k vigor.
she
So I
did.
reloaded and tried to beg for forgiveness. Instead, she let me off lightly. by breaking my legs. The irony of the situation is that she owned the town clinic and would help treat my crippling disability the next day. I lived a good life.
What?
I trained hard. And despite that, I am surrounded by sociopaths that could kill me on a whim.
Right.
I hate this place. I'm gonna go parkour across water. Going far north in the map is how you get captured and imprisoned. This is not a bad thing. This is how you unlock your second and third character slots. As said before, you're not meant to win on the first try.
Got
Or
it.
rather, you're not the main character. The protagonist of this story is your ancestors. Quick briefing on power levels. Everything is about vigor, which is how much punishment you can take. No matter how good you are at finessing the combat and exploiting meridians, your starting character's vigor will cap off at around 2k. So
I
for
see.
reference, at your absolute peak, you are half as strong as a giant toad.
Right.
How do we remedy this? Genetics. Much like a trailer park is much more of a gene pond than a gene pool, your choice of partner has consequences on your child's pedigree. You need to choose the right China man or China woman to chintegrate into your lineage. If you're the offspring of a sect leader, you're born with 2k extra vigor. That's nice, but we need to go even harder. There are many myths, many legends. In high school, we used to nipple cripple each other. If you're not familiar,
What?
that's where you grab both nipples and twist painfully, usually in the changing room when they're most vulnerable.
No, they call them purple
I was
nurples.
gonna say, that is a
What's
purple
a
nurple.
nipple cripple? What the hell? I'm gonna cripple your nipples? God damn.
Also alternatively known as a titty twister.
Titty twister, purple nurple.
I ain't never heard of no nipple cripple.
What the hell?
That's
I just feel like they're crooked afterwards. Like they turn in different directions. If I don't keep doing it, it'll have weird nipples. Like I can't stop. It's part of the game.
oh God.
Until one of our friends told us that's how a kid got nipple cancer, because he got nipple crippled too often,
Nice.
and it became a tumor. We knew the story was bullshit, but we were scared, and we never did it again. Similarly, I heard tales of people hitting 30k vigor, and I think I know how. Some call it intuition. I call it reading a guide on Steam.
Nice.
Karma are objectives you complete during life that allow you to take different blessings in the next. Our objective, pristine birthright, requires the following: 30 lovers, 30 grudges, or 1,000,000 gold. Gold is out of question, so I went with 30 grudges instead. For reference, the worst thing you can do to
pissing
someone is
people off.
destroying their kung fu. Understandably, beating someone so hard they forget how to move creates a lot of animosity.
Right,
At
right.
first, I was non-lethal and just battled people, stole their kung fu, and locked them in a cage.
Damn.
This got
Oh,
problematic
God.
very quickly. I would imprison someone's mother, so their daughter would show up and start breaking the cage from outside, trying to rescue them. So I had to knock her out, put her in another cage, only to see the mother try to break out from inside to rescue her daughter. Everyone started bonding over their shared predicament, became friends, and tried to make a prison break. Eventually, it was too much, so I had to start taking heads.
Oh.
All I wanted was 30 enemies, but it seems now I'm going to need 30 body bags. This was a problem because I couldn't keep track of the people I killed and their relations to one another.
Yeah.
I accidentally killed off someone's parent, only to find out their daughter had 12k vigor and was chasing me
Yeah.
across the land.
Yeah.
I died several times and had to reload. The only way I was going to survive was by friendship, and paying the master of my sect 1,000 gold to beat the shit out of her.
Nice.
As I took her head, I realized, why do I even need this karma quest when I have a small army that can finish the entire game? There are no words to describe the experience of combat when your fights are stacked 20 against 1, except incredibly fair. I thought I was invincible, but I flew too close to the sun. You see, slowly, over time, my army kept taking internal injuries, but their AI wouldn't let them go to a clinic for treatment, and I didn't pay attention. Suddenly, some of them died, which
Damn.
caused their friends to blame me for their
Oh,
death,
no.
which forced me to fight them. But then they died, and my other companions attacked me. My failure cascade was out of control, and I died at the hands of my own men. I
What?
thought I was girl boss of this empire, but in truth, I was nothing but the boss baby. I looked back on the footage to figure out exactly where it all went wrong, and surprisingly, it wasn't inflicted injuries. No, what happened was I ate shit to see what happens, and I saw the animation, and I thought it was really funny. However, my dysentery gave me a stack of poison gas, which spreads from close
Shut
contact. My
up.
army was exclusively in close contact, so the cause of death.
What?
This can't be real. This can't be real. This cannot be what really happened.
He said on further review,
This
it was the
can't
shit
be
eating that took us down.
This can't be real. What? Why is that a mechanic? Why is that even possible for it to happen in the game?
Not only do they let you eat shit, it will poison you, then it will poison everyone around you. If you're dumb enough to eat shit, everybody dies.
God.
Oh, Lord.
Of everyone, and myself included, was my own excrement.
Nice.
But it turned out I made enough enemies in this life that I finished my karma quest. Pristine Birthright gives you the single biggest power spike in the game, if you can actually use it. If I could figure it out, I'm sure you can too. In case you do this yourself, I found out I didn't actually need grudges, and I could have just marked 30 people as enemies. Turns out, force-feeding people shit, gouging out their eyes, and repeatedly breaking their legs was completely unnecessary, and says a lot more about myself. My unscrupulous actions would come to haunt me for my third character, as I start with ill fate, which means I'm more likely to be struck by lightning. I try to cheese the system by praying for rain and speedrunning life. Unfortunately, lightning only cooks you, so
Damn.
I tried dying to bandits. They refused to kill me as well. Instead,
What?
they put me in a cage and went to sleep. Occasionally, they would wake up and poison me before going back to sleep. This also failed to kill me. Frustrated, I ran to the Forbidden Palace, which is this game's version of a government. This is staffed by people who are referred to as an incomplete person, who are missing their precious treasure. This is a very Chinese way of saying they lost their penis. I could go on to
Wow.
explain how dynasties thought this would prevent nobles and public officials from seizing power
Right.
because they couldn't produce children. But I digress. Anyway, I set fire to the palace, and I was promptly executed. And it was all for nothing because my negative karma was still there. Also,
Dang.
I found out Groin Kick has a chance to permanently crush your balls. Do with this information as you will. So, I made my fourth and final character, Supreme Genetics. Excellent karma.
Okay.
And you know what he does with it? Nothing. Because I unlocked Beast Tongue and can now tame infinite monkeys. Now, I have complete monopoly on the entire begging sector. This game is undeniably early access. The translations can range from English to absolutely esoteric, but the gameplay is so
Wait, I wanna read
intuitive
it.
that I never sector. This game is undeniably early access. The translation
What are you looking for? To be honest, things have not been going well for me recently. I seem to be suffering from bad luck, so I plan to go. This is fine.
can range from
Don't believe it or heard. There's a 9-wolf cave in the Sect station there, specializes in this kind of kung fu. Maybe it was manipulated by them. If you have to be careful too. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Emperor has the order. Today, the heroes are together to disturb the rivers and lakes. Payton is divided, the cracks are cracked. The major forces are their own selfishness, chaos, and even difficulty in life. There are even more lingering in the rivers and lakes, killing innocents, and even chaotic order of the rivers and lakes, and everyone is in danger. The Emperor's pity from today will enter the Lord of the Lord today and will reestablish the order with iron and blood. Anyone who does not follow the morals of the rivers and lakes, the traders and the fate of the grass, the guards of the big inner must write it to the law to use the wind of Kungfu Lin. Shin this.
Bro, what? I like the part that go, everyone's in danger. In danger from what?
esoteric, but the gameplay is so intuitive that I never felt like I was missing out. There is one exception to this. It's called verbal duels. And they're
Damn.
completely insane. This is the equivalent of an online debate, where the objective is to mentally break
Right.
your opponent. Instead of vigor, you use spirit, and depleting someone's spirit will put them in hysteria. And hysteria can lead to death.
Damn.
This game lets you troll someone to death.
Ah.
It's really hard to say which
Friday a
single
chicken.
event in this sandbox broke me. Was it the time I went to the clinic for a broken leg, only for the doctor to forcibly throw me outside
Damn.
because it was 1 minute past his bedtime?
Damn.
Or was it my wife screaming at me for having an affair, as I have no option to explain to her that I have no relation to this giant black serpent, and it only holds feelings of intimacy for me because I implanted it with a love parasite? Since writing these lines, my world got flooded. I tried to swim north and got eaten by a great white shark.
Oh, nice.
This came out of nowhere, so it scared the shit out of me. This was the worst jump scare I've ever had. I got crinkles in my diaper and was very afraid. So I'm giving this game a 0 out of 10. In all seriousness, if you're willing to put up with a lot of bad translation and want a sandbox where you can live out your power fantasy of killing everyone with your bare hands, then I thoroughly recommend it. For the price they're
This is
asking,
monkey's
I definitely
break
got
your
my
legs.
money's worth. It's pleasant, it's charming, and there's a lot to explore, but I haven't had the time to cover. As always, more content to
I
come.
love it, dude.
This guy has
Oh,
the
man.
same level of focus as you, because you would also definitely get distracted by being able to tame animals.
Yeah, in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
You forget the objective and have fun instead. And then you go, I'll never beat this. I've ruined the world because there are no more dogs left.
My husband and I have very different approaches to video games, but we do both like to shoot people. So, Call of Duty for
it
the
is.
win.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
This was actually a lot of fun. It makes a lot more sense when I'm sitting here watching it.
Okay.
As opposed to when I'm editing you watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's I can get that. I can get that vibe.
Some of the stuff he says and you say out of context.
Man.
So bad.
They definitely need to be edited. If they're going up on my channel, I get targeted. So I can't risk it.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining me. I'm definitely bringing you back for another one. Maybe not the next one, but another one sooner down the line.
This is not Lindsay Nicole, okay?
Right.
You will not have to pay a fine
Okay.
for watching one without me.
Well, thanks for letting me know.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, I'll see you guys in the next one then. I'll see my wife around the house, I guess. We gotta go to lunch, man. I'm fucking hungry.
I'm starving.
I'll see y'all later. Peace.